All right, good morning, Facebook world. And might I also say good morning, YouTube. Um, we are back with Digital Devotionals this morning. It is almost 10 o'clock. Typically, this gets posted at 7:30, but things have been things have been bananas this morning. Facebook has been having problems with Facebook Live. And we had a big prayer call this morning with our church. I pastor a church if you're watching from someplace other than Atlanta and you don't know what I do for a living or whatnot. I pastor a church, and so we had a church prayer call. And my phone has been going crazy today. Cobb County, the county in which I live, just issued a state of emergency last night. So we are more or less officially being told to stay inside unless there is some, measure of you've got to get out and you've got to get toilet paper or you've got to get to the grocery store. So things have been a little bit crazy today. So thanks for being with me here. And might I add to all the YouTube watchers, if you are wondering why I'm interacting with like live comments or things like that, this video airs first on Facebook and then it gets aired on YouTube. So hope everybody is doing well. Hope you're staying safe. We're going to be jumping in this morning in the book of Philippians chapter 4. Paul is writing. He's writing from prison here. And it's a simple moment, and it may even sound insensitive to what I'm getting ready to lead us in this morning. But if any of you have gone through something hard, you know what it's like when someone says something to you that is dumb. I've been doing these videos now for the past week, and my dad passed away, a while ago, almost, 15, 16 years ago now. And the amount of times people said things that were just insensitive, and they meant well. Like, hey, there's a purpose for all of it. There's a plan for this. Those things aren't helpful. And if you're watching today, stop saying those kinds of things to people that are going through something hard, because it's not helpful to think that your pain is being orchestrated by God in this moment. Even though there might be purpose through it, in all of it, it's certainly not helpful in the moment. And so, guys, that's going to qualify a little bit of what I'm going to say, because it may sound like I'm teaching the exact opposite in Philippians chapter 4. I'm going to tie it all together, I promise. So, Digital Devotionals today, Philippians chapter 4, we're going to be in verse 4, and we're going to take it down to through verse 7. This is what Paul the Apostle has to say. And by the way, before I even jump in, I see Samantha, Catherine, Mary Koo. Hello, good morning. Good to have you guys here. And it's always great having folks from all over the U.S. Mary Koo, I don't even know where you're at these days, but shout out to Mary Koo. Hi, good morning. Philippians 4, verse 4. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your graciousness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Don't worry about anything, Paul says. But in everything, through prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Now, hear me here. We got a lot going on right now. There's a lot of people that are dealing with a lot of heavy things right now. So if I just sit here on this little digital moment and I say, oh, everybody just have peace. Just be at peace. Be thankful. I realize that can sound insensitive. But Paul calls us to something here, and I think it's really important in this moment for us to wrestle with how to be thankful in really difficult times. And what I mean by that is not that you're thankful for the actual event itself. when my dad passed, or as Amy and I were watching Hunger Games last night in our house. We've been trying to just watch a movie. It's one of our favorite movie series, the Hunger Games series. Well, my phone starts going crazy, around 9:30, 10 o'clock, state of emergency, blah, blah, blah. And so we stop the movie and we don't feel like finishing it because we're talking to folks, praying with people, etc. And, in this moment, you're wrestling with, okay, what is the posture of my heart? How do I not slip into being discouraged or despair or panic? And then furthermore, how do I get to a place where my faith is really anchored in God through everything? What about you who are watching and you're not getting paid anymore because of your job? What if you're losing your job? What if you're worried about your kids contracting COVID-19? What if you're worried about kids going back to school? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so there's all these things, right, that are fighting for the attention of your heart. And then take the present situation off the table, and you have just everyday life. We go through difficult times, difficult seasons. You have tragedies. What do we do to make sure that our heart remains thankful, that we have a posture that's healthy before the Lord? And so Philippians 4, Paul is writing from prison. He's literally shackled to a wall, most likely here. And here he is writing about not being anxious, but actually having joy in the Lord. He says, man, let your graciousness be known to everybody. I know for me, when I get stressed, the last thing that I want to be is gracious. I'm sharp, and I start, you have those sharp comments. You react rather than respond. Some of you that are homeschooling your children right now, you know exactly what I mean, because your stress levels are rising and you start getting sharp with your words. How do we combat that and have a heart that's gracious with each other? Don't worry about anything, Paul says, but in everything, through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. All right. I don't know about you. There are things in my refrigerator that have expiration dates on it. And if you're like me, there are things in your refrigerator that have gone well beyond the expiration date at times. And Paul does something here that reminds me of kind of like the refrigerator example, in that he uses this word, everything. Don't worry about anything, but in everything. I don't like that word right here. But everything literally means everything. In everything, with prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Here's what I know to be true in my own life. With people that I've known, literally personally for me, is that bitterness and thanksgiving, they just don't work well together. They're not good cousins. They're not good brothers and sisters. I've never met someone who is bitter and generous. I've never met somebody who is unforgiving and joyful. I just haven't done it. Thanksgiving in many ways is the bedrock of having a healthy heart before God, especially when you're going through something hard. Now, what I'm not saying is that you should be thankful for the event itself, but are there things that we can find thanksgiving for in the midst of it, right? So I wrote a few things down. Here's some things when I'm looking at the current situation that we're in right now. I'm not happy that I can't really leave my house very much. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy and thankful that I have children who have breathing complications, and that can make us a bit nervous. I am not thankful about that. But what I am thankful for is that through moments like these, it forces me to humble myself before God. I am thankful for God taking his people, even our nation, right, and drawing people to himself through it. I'm thankful for that. I see more people asking questions about God than I have in a long time. And I'm thankful for that. I have not been to Walmart in some time, but I have had friends who have texted me pictures. And the book aisle, right? Where you at Walmart, you go and you buy books. The Bible section is empty, right? Just like the TP, and just like the chicken and the meat, right? The paper products. People are flat out going after the Bibles right now because they're looking for hope. Well, guess what? I'm not thankful for COVID-19, but I'm thankful for moments that God uses to draw people to himself. I am thankful for that. You know what else I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that families have been forced to slow down. Families have been forced to slow down, and they're being families again. They're sitting at a dinner table. People are playing games with their kids. They're having real conversations, and we're being reminded about what is most important, right? If you've seen it, Jimmy Fallon, he's literally rocking the Tonight Show from his house, right? And you're seeing his kids, and you're seeing people in everyday life. And I think that's a good thing. I think it is great, not only that we are able to see that through social media, but that we're able to just be a little bit less driven right now and a little bit more focused on the things that truly matter most: our families, faith, relationship with God. Here's what else I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for community caring in ways that I haven't seen in a long time. In fact, I'd say the last time I saw this much unity as a community was probably 9/11, where people are really coming together and they're caring for one another. I mean, we've got people on Kennesaw right now sewing masks, for doctors and nurses. And we started that group, and people are, they're picking up groceries for each other. And I mean, that's incredible. It used to be where you needed flour, and you went and you knocked on the neighbor's door growing up, and they'd give you some eggs or they'd give you flour. That's kind of happening again, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I'm thankful for that. Thankful for it. I've been reacquainted with people all over the U.S. that I haven't talked to in years. Maybe you're in the same boat. I'm thankful for that. Again, that's part of even just slowing down, doing these live videos every day. That brings me joy. Then lastly, I'm not a real physical touch person. You're not going to get Andy being, Mr. Huggy, handshake, let's hug it out, bro, kind of a guy. That's just not my vibe. But here is what, even in all of this, I'm reminded to be thankful about. You take for granted just the ability to get together and be in a room together, be in a church service together, be in a gym together. If I see some Burn Boot Camp people up in here. The amazing just gift of togetherness. You realize we really are better together as people, and it makes us thankful. I'm thankful for the days that are coming. Sooner than later, when we'll be back together. And you know what? Even though I'm not the guy who traditionally hugs it out, guess what? I'm going to be given a lot of hugs, because there's something about it when you don't have it, you appreciate it more. And so these are some ways, right, to fight to have a heart of thanksgiving. And as you're praying through the hardship that you're facing, whether it's COVID-19, whether it's your job situation, whether it's fear for your kids, or maybe it's none of those things, and it's something that's coming, later down the road, or something that you dealt with years ago that you still haven't really overcome. Well, as you're praying through it and you're continuing to bring it to God, and you bring it to God, and you bring it to God, one of the other things I want to encourage you to add to it is finding ways to be thankful to God. Not for the event itself, but for what God can produce through it. And He is a God that will use anything and everything in our lives. And I just want to encourage you with that. Even in your hardest and darkest days, if you give it to God and you fight for a heart that's thankful to Him, if nothing else, if you can't find anything else to be thankful for, we can be thankful for the oxygen in our lungs, And we can be thankful for Jesus dying on the cross for the sin of the world. That right there is a start. Start there and begin to add things to it. And fight for a heart that's thankful. That is the digital devotional for the day. I hope you have a great Wednesday. And it's great to see some of you. I see Val Gallarelli. Sylvia, hi. Hope you're doing well. Got a couple comments on here. Jen Beach coming all the way from Woodstock right now. And Barb Schreier. It's so great to see you. I don't know if you're still on right now, but sure do love you. All the way in St. Louis. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Anyhow, ladies and gents, have a great day and be encouraged. Let's fight to be thankful. We still, even in the midst of difficulty, have much to be thankful about. Love you. Have a great day.